Hello everyone, welcome back. Well, today I have something crazy to tell you guys. I wasn't sure if I should even talk about this. This happened, I would say about 6 months ago, 9 months ago. And the reason I didn't talk about this because it's kind of crazy. So, me and my wife ran into this psycho Filipino. And you will see throughout my story that why we call her a psycho. So this is what happened. We went to a mall, and especially certain times of the day, it's very difficult to find a parking spot. But we drove around a couple of times, and we drive into the parking lot. There's several parking lots at this mall, separated from each other. And there's a SUV in front of us. And we're waiting behind her. She's waiting for somebody to come out of the parking lot so she can park in. So each side of this parking lot here, about 50 cars here and 50 cars here. Only one way to get in, the other side out. Now this woman is, she pulled down the side, and we behind her, and also other cars behind us too. We're waiting for getting an empty spot when somebody's finally going to pull out. So after I'm just guessing 10 minutes of waiting, we honked at her because we see some cars coming out and she's still not moving. So I can see through the window, her rear window, that she looked in the rear view mirror of hers, who's honking, and she didn't do nothing. She didn't wave. So my wife says, let's pull up next to her and see if everything is okay. So we pulled up next to her and she's on her phone texting. So I honked again, polite, not crazy. That, are you going to go? And she looks back and goes back to her text again. My wife said, okay, let's just go. I mean, there's several empty spots. So we went down, I would say about, guessing, 25, 30 car parking spots. And there was a couple of detailing guys who detail cars. It's called with the waterless. It's a spray bottle, and while you're shopping, you finish up your car nice, and if you want, it's a paid service. It's not by the mall. It's I guess individual contractors. So one of them actually shows us directly in that here's a spot, but the other side of the spot too, a little bit away. And as soon as I pulled in, I went front and in and get out of the truck. The same woman pulls up real quick, and I hear her shouting. And I never seen this woman in my life, neither my wife, but we recognized the SUV was the one who was sitting over there back there. And she gets out of her car and says, no, sir, no, this is my spot, I've been waiting for it. You guys don't have to believe it, but it's really happening. It sounds unbelievable. And I said, what are you talking about? There's no reserved spots here. By the way, this guy, he doesn't work for the mall, but he even directed us. I said, there's the other side. Why don't you park in there? No, this is my spot. And then she grabs my door knob. She wants to open the truck like she's going to back it up. I said, listen. I said, I'm being really polite here. I said, take your hands off, go back to your car and park somewhere else. And I said, by the way, we 2 times politely honked at you and even asked, show that, why don't you go? You're going to go, and you didn't respond. So you're not going to stand behind you for half an hour. And behind us, almost 100 cars, maybe 10 cars, also waiting for a parking spot. Now it started to get nasty. She started to call my wife names. She was still in the truck. And I said, listen, miss, I said, let's keep this peaceful. Go back to your car and leave us alone and find yourself a parking. Now she puts her hand on my arm and tries to pull me forcefully. So I told her, I said, listen, right now you didn't move your arm. I said, I don't know how it's in the Philippines, but in another country that can be considered as an assault. I said, I'm not trying to make any problems here, but I said, you're really causing a scene and a problem. So she removed her arm, walks a little bit back, like halfway in my truck, and she said, F you, and she goes with her finger like this, like I'm serious, the woman probably weighed in pounds, about 100 pounds. She had to be between 35 and 38 years old, and kept repeating this. I said, wow, you really have some class, huh? I said, one thing, I'm a senior citizen. I said, you completely disrespected me. And I said, would you tell that to a Philippine guy, if that would be the case? I said, who do you think you are to talk to me like that, right? So she's still going, and then she turns back to the truck like a horse and kicks it the cargo area. Of course, you can't do damage to it. It's a thick metal, but still, she kicked it over and over and over. And my wife and said, "Ma'am, what's wrong with you? You have medication? What the heck is going on with you?" Now, security didn't see it yet, but a lot of people gathered in the parking lot watching what's happening. And I had about 5 witnesses from the beginning who saw exactly what happened. By the way, they were all on my side. And they were saying that this woman is completely crazy. And she said, again, that word, if you over and over and over, and called me different kind of names. I said, you've been recorded, by the way, not just by us, but the security cameras everywhere. I said, I'm going to call the police on you. She said, go you effing, I don't want to use the word that she used. And I said, wow, I can't believe it. It's like a bad dream. I've never been treated like this in my life, and I lived several countries. And I never seen a woman behaving that way. That's really outrageous, right? And to be able to hold your peace, I didn't want to behave like her, but she behaved like a low-life person. I could have cussed her out over and over too, or call her names. But somebody would probably even kick her ass for that nasty mouth. But I didn't. I was holding my peace while I was waiting. My blood pressure was raising real fast. So she didn't want to leave. She still kept kicking the truck. And I stood between her. My wife went up to her. So she goes outside and keeps kicking it. I told my wife, you know what? Let her kick it as long as she doesn't kick the cabin up there. The driver's foot is that not as thick as metal. And all her footprints on the truck, on the sides. So let her keep doing it. We're going to go on, do whatever we came to the mall. And the recording is going on from several directions of the cameras. Now it's funny because we came out an hour and a half later. She was gone. And the guys and the security guard was waiting at the end of our truck, and they said, they speak pretty good English too. They were saying it to my wife in their mother language, and also to me they explained it in English. They said the security guard was called, and then another security guard as well. They were going to detain her because she even cussed out the guards. And they said, you had no right to behave this way, and by the way, they made pictures of the footprints on the truck. No damage to the truck, and they said the woman was maybe 100 pounds. But still, you don't want to see your vehicle being kicked, right? Especially we just purchased a truck not too long ago. And they said, okay, so you don't want to behave, we're going to call the cops on you. And then right away, ready to change because now she took them serious. She didn't take me serious, I'm going to call the police. But she took the guard serious. And then she apologized over and over. She said, please don't call the police. I'm so sorry. And tell them too. She didn't wait for us to come out. Tell them too, I'm very sorry. I was out of hand. Okay, you're out of hand. That's not the right phrase for this. But it's just unbelievable. You know, I said my blood pressure was up. My wife was really pissed off. She said, this is not how the Filipinos are. And this brings a bad reputation against the people, you know. And I said, I know that not everybody like that. You know, it happens in any country, could happen, but this is the worst I've ever seen. And over what? What was the reason to do that, right? So, I was thinking to press charges against her for disorderly conduct and, you know, putting her arm on me. But I look at it this way. I came to the Philippines to get married, what I did, and enjoy life. You know, I'm retired. I don't need the freaking stress from everybody. And I figured if I call the police and make a police report of it, might ending up going to court. Who wants to go through all that hassle? So no harm being done other than a real nasty aggravation to get our stress level real bad. What's interesting, even today, after about, I would think maybe 9 months, the detailing guys are still there. They always wave their hand for us. The guard sometimes comes up to us and talks. I said, you still remember that cycle? I said, yeah, we haven't seen her since. But can you imagine? Any of you ever had an experience like that? I mean, how would you handle it? What would you have done different than I did? I tried to keep it extremely civilized. And even though in my mind I really felt like putting my foot up on their ass. But again, then I'm going to have to be deported from the country and face prison. So I figured I keep it peacefully. If you do damage to a truck, then I will pursue a lawsuit. My wife will pursue a lawsuit against it. Even now I get a little worked up over that, just telling the story. I play back in my mind how it was. I said, wow, just unbelievable. You would never think a woman behaves that way. And she didn't look drunk. She just really, truly looked like a psycho. Just like, wow. Well, that's all I want to tell you guys. I'm curious if any of you ever had this kind of experience here or in any other country as well. All right? Thank you. All of you take care. Enjoy your day.